All right. Let's see here. Welcome back, Margaritas in Paradise. Is anybody out there? Okay. Hey, welcome back, Margaritas in Paradise. I'll tell you what, I've been kind of working on my lighting issues and everything. Today, I was out on the balcony 10 minutes ago, and it is so windy out there and everything. I was concerned about the noise levels and everything else and the lighting. But I kept working on it. Anyway, I've decided the command decision is to bring it inside. I figured I have good lighting in here, and um, I don't know. Hopefully it works out. Maybe we can go outside in a little bit and let you see um, I don't know, the beach. Let you see what it looks like out there. But for right now, we're gonna talk to you a little bit um, inside my condo, and everything's controlled this way. I think the sound okay. Let me know if the picture's good. Um, yeah, and that type of stuff. Catchy Handle 99. Thank you. Um, anyway, let's see here. I had a couple things that I'm going to go over. One of the things I'm going over, I have to be careful about this here, is nightlife in general. And I don't know if you guys are interested in that or not. Uh, Goldfinger, from Colorado. All right. But I'm seeing, I just went out last night. I was out with my brother Doug last night. Um, and and we were in the LK area, but a lot of times we go to Walking Street, and I want to touch bases about Walking Street. I see a lot of comments in the comment section about they talk about that expats here don't go to Walking Street, and I have certain friends of mine that will say the same thing. I don't know. Do I need to bring this up a little bit? Let's see. Is that better? All right. So am I too low now? I don't know. Okay. We'll go with that. Anyway, I have one of these, you can't see it, but it's a swivel arm. It comes off. I have like an end table here next to my sofa. And then I have one of those swivel arms that my laptop sits on, and I can kind of swing it around to just about any position. It works good for me when I'm working and making videos and that type of stuff. This is my control center right here, as you might say. Okay. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about Walking Street a little bit. Okay. So Walking Street has always kind of been the center of the nightlife here in Pattaya, Thailand. And you get a lot of old expats that say, well, I never go to Walking Street. And I get that. Okay. For me, prior to doing YouTube, I probably only went there maybe once or twice a month. And so when you come to town and you want to go out with me, and some of you do, believe it or not, okay, and you're all welcome. You know, if you haven't got it already, margaritas and paradise at gmail.com, you can contact me. If you ever want to, if you have some question that's too private that you don't want to put here in the comment section or one of the videos, something like that, you can send me a question there. Or if you want to meet up, I'm free for meeting up. And need a wingman, I'm your wingman. You know, I like going out still, even at my age. Anyway, but you know, you hear about this all the time about how many people go to Walking Street, and and Walking Street, when you go down there, you know, the prime time, let's say 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. at night, is that really prime time? When you go down there and you look at the streets are empty. Even I hate to say this, but even let's say the Indian tourists, for instance, they're not out there yet at 8 o'clock. Okay. but the main clubs are full. And the reason why they're full is because they have happy hour specials and things like that. So you take the clubs like XS and Chicks and let's say Bliss and Harem and Pinup and Adams and those ones there, they all have happy hours for like an hour. And so their drink specials are like 95 baht, that type of thing for whatever you want to drink, whether it's, Jack and Coke or beer or whatever, or cola for that fact. So, a lot of people take advantage of that. If you're living here on a budget, maybe that's what you need to be doing. There's last week, now this isn't in play, but it happens all the time. Night Flight made the move. I think as of yesterday, right? He made the move over to Soy to Pradamak from Wongamat Beach, and maybe he can chime in on why he moved over there. Okay, from this area. I know he loved this area, but I'm all about when you come here, expand your area, go out and look around, make sure one area is good for you. Does that make sense? So let's see here. Tail frets, I like places like Ibar late night, but otherwise pretty much stay away. Yeah, I get that. Okay. A lot of guys, especially the guys that follow the weather, the people that don't like to go out during the day and they end up going out in the evening. They sleep away most of the day and they go out in the evening. I have a friend of mine that lives right here across the street over at Park Beach, and he doesn't even get out of bed until 8 p.m. or so, something like that. And then he goes, his favorite place is Candy Club. I'm going to talk about that later on over on Soy Bacau. But he doesn't even get there until 11, 12 o'clock at night, something like that, maybe even later than that, and he usually takes somebody home. So he meets somebody or whatever, that sort of thing. So I wanted to mention, so you see these flyers. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not, but like this one here, Fahrenheit, 80 Thai baht, all night long. And here's one for geisha. You see my tremors are really shaking there. But so this was last week. These flyers, all drinks are 80 baht from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Sunday through Thursday. But this happens, okay? These type flyers happen, but they don't stay current all the time. So right now, I don't think they're actually current, but things like this come up. And we're in low season, and low season shifts a lot, kind of depending on what's going on in town, whether we have a festival or not, or things like that. And, the piece of pie is only so big, and everybody wants a piece of pie, have a piece of that pie, right? Does that make sense? So, let's see here. The night shift is the right shift in Pattaya. You won't believe what you can do at 4 a.m. Yeah, so I'm asleep by then, so I'm not the expert at 4 a.m. That's for sure. But it's amazing to me the number of people that you see, and I have people coming up to me all the time. Yesterday we were over on LK, and a big shout out to the Excite bar. They had a bar crawl in there. They were mainly German guys, okay, over at Las Vegas. And so we saw them there. And where else did we see them at? We saw them in two places, maybe Top Gun too. Okay, so Top Gun's another one, a good one to go to. But anyway, I'm back to Walking Street. Try to stay on track. It's amazing. The later it gets, the busier it gets on Walking Street, and the people you see in the different clubs there, all of the, let's say, the longtime expats, okay, guys that that like to go to these clubs. Okay. And why do they like to go to these clubs? You know, generally speaking, it's because of the staff. Okay. They have a younger staff, the prettiest staff, that type of thing. And if you're looking for that, I'm trying to talk around words a little bit here, and I hope you guys understand. Um, but if you're looking for that, then Walking Street's the place you're going to have to go. Okay. Now, so if you're looking for staff that are say 8 and up on whoever's scale rating, that type of thing. But if you're looking for mid-range girls, then you can go to a lot of different areas, because the entire area, there's what, 20,000 bars and clubs and things like that in the Pattaya area, you know. So, and most of these side roads, let's say, I'm going to use an example. For me, it'd be like Soy 18 in Naklua. Okay, that's close to me. It's 5 minutes away, motorbike ride or so, and we have several businesses along there, and they're great. Okay, there's nothing wrong with them at all, but the staff there in general, every now and then it changes all the time. Every now and then you have somebody that's just stunningly beautiful in there, but for the most part, it's on the average scale. Does that make sense? I don't want to say anything to offend anybody by any means, that type of thing. But but in general, um, it's not the same. And even Doug and me were talking about this yesterday on LK. Um, we had a great time. Don't get me wrong. Anytime you get two guys like me and Doug together, Doug and me together, we're just like brothers. It's that the biggest joke you'd ever see between the both of us is we're exactly the same. And let's see here. Did I just have a flutter there? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so um, let me double check something real quick. Make sure that we're not doing anything wrong. Let's see here. All right. Anyway, so life is good in Pattaya, Thailand. There's no doubt about that. Uh, okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. You know, in here, my Wi-Fi signal is like 800. Now I haven't checked it. Um, I'm using Wi-Fi in my condo right now, so it's probably around 600 or so, something like that. But I have a super strong signal. I pay for a good strong signal, so, and that's available here as well. But anyway, there's all kinds of things to do on Walking Street, and the big thing anymore, besides the regular nightclubs that a lot of you guys will go to, are the Bollywood. Okay, all the Indian clubs, and they're massive. This Jalwala and Boss Club and everything, and they have these dance um, routines out in front of their shops, trying to draw in people. I've been over to several of them in the last year doing promo work. Um, they'll invite me in, and I can go in there with my camera and do videos on the inside of these places, and they're really amazing, the amount of work and the architecture on the outside of some of these clubs. I was out there with Mary, shout out to Mary, um, last week, and in the old Marine District, the side roads that wrap around from down by Valley High Pier and Marine District. I don't know if you guys remember that area, Ozone area, that type of stuff. Um, it's amazing the architecture that they got going on. These are super clubs. Should I call them discos? I don't know. I mean, but yeah, it's amazing. So, and these things are open till like 6 a.m. So, Uh, is Walking Street dead? No, it's not. And in these clubs, depending if you're there at the right time or not, there's a lot of people. Okay. Now, general tourists that come to Pattaya, I don't think, there's a certain amount of nightlife tourists that come here that Pattaya is known for the nightlife. But most tourists, they come here and they come in here with families and that type of stuff, and they're doing the island hopping stuff. So they're here for 2 or 3 days in the Pattaya area. They're jumping out to Koh Larn, which is a must go place. Super clear waters, but there's even other islands like Koh Samet and Koh Chang that's pretty close to here that are fantastic as well. Um, there's all the water activities, whether it's the parasailing or the one they put you in the parachute and pull you around out there. And that happens every day. I'm sure it's going on right now, even as windy as it is right now outside. I'm sure it's going on. But so that type of stuff. And at this time of the year, even though it is low season, it's August. I was talking to my dad in Illinois, and just this morning, and he said, I mean, they're in the middle of a heat wave, right? Here, it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm not sure what that comes out to be in Celsius, but I'm looking at my Alexa box right now. It says 85 degrees. It's nice out and it's breezy. So I don't know if that weather's what you like, but to me, it's pretty good overall. I could do because I'm sitting right here on the ocean. I get this steady sea breeze. So even though I have my air conditioner on right now, I don't really need it for the most part. I could just open up my patio doors and leave my front door cracked, and I have a great sea breeze that comes through. So that's a whole different option. Now, when we're jumping from Walking Street, um, like I say, we're talking about kind of the Bollywood nightclubs. They have the iBar and 808 and Republic, all these clubs that are super popular. Okay, guys, they end up, they don't even, what time do they even open up out there? I think it's more like 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that too late? I think they're open, probably 11 o'clock, but I wouldn't go in there at that time. That just wouldn't make any sense. Um, Come on, it's 30 degrees. You live in a metric system country. Yeah, get with it, Tom. you know, um, I I'm old fashioned, and yeah, you're right. I should be able to convert that in my head, but it's just easier for me. So I have this little Alexa thing over here, or and I have it set in Fahrenheit, and it's just easier for me. So yeah, iBar opens at 9, but pretty dead before midnight. Yeah, and that's a great point. You know, and what time does iBar really get going? I bet it's more in the 1-2 a.m. category, and they close what around 6 a.m. or so, something like that. So tall frets, yeah. Um, Yeah, it's amazing to me how people can be out that late. My internal clock at 1:30, 2 o'clock has really shut me down now. My buddy Doug, on the other hand, he's always about it's 10 o'clock somewhere. So he's trying to talk me into staying out a little bit longer than I'm used to. But him and his girlfriend, they're all about it. Yeah, 1 to 3 a.m. probably peak. Been there. Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. If you can hang in these clubs at 1 to 3 a.m., you see pictures all the time. And there's lots of these clubs out there. It's amazing how full all these clubs get. So those are good options for you. But if not, there's the big shift anymore has moved from the focal point of Walking Street over to Soy Bacau in the LK metro area. in particular. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. You got places like Soy 6, Soy 7, Soy 8. They're all fantastic, and um, they're general good areas to go enjoy the restaurants, the clubs that are there, and the company social uh, matrix of what's going on over there. They're all fantastic. Okay, but the main areas, okay, main areas that have, I would say, live music, for instance. Okay, so it's Soy Bacal, like the Rock Factory or Matador. And there's another place on the edge of Tree Town called Rock Station. All these places are really popular, bring in massive crowds. Okay. And that includes like Candy Club. All right. So I'll tell you what, by 11 o'clock last night, I walked by Candy Club and it was packed. And when I ended up leaving around 2 a.m., it was still packed. Okay. So, um, yeah, it's and certain clubs like a lot of these nightclubs that they have like a rewards card type system there, so you get a discount for drinks if you're a member, okay, and most of them don't have the lady drink tier, okay, so you don't have to pay extra because you're buying a drink for somebody and they're getting paid and making money off of you as well. Does that make sense? All right. So, and a lot of people are not out there for that transactional um, mode of nightlife. So a lot of people are just going out there to meet new people and having a good time, right? So I get that 100%. But um, the OK area, I think, is one of the really happening areas. I was in there last night. I made a couple notes here. I'm gonna go to my notes. Um, but let's see here. So the most popular place in all of LK, I think, and see if you agree, is Billabong. Okay, live music, um, really fantastic, big venue, and and I they have drink specials there, but most drinks are like 95 baht, something like that. But they do have specials, buy one get one free, that type thing, and it's really fantastic. But I'll tell you another place. I wish I had a way. Eventually, I'll figure out how I can put pictures up of these different places for you. But there's a new place on LK called Palm Breeze, and let me see. I'm gonna make sure I get that right. Oh, it's called Palm Beach. Okay, Palm Beach. And I'll tell you what, when you're it's kind of across from the LK Metro apartment area, if you remember that from the olden days. I don't know if that's still in business or not, but so the Palm Beach uh, bar restaurant there, it's full of neon lights and everything. And last night it was packed. I talked to somebody sitting outside. They said they had a staff of like 30 plus in there, and it was really busy. Now, with that being said, uh, I, I don't know what type. I don't know if they had live music in there or not. I didn't notice that, but it was definitely a place to be at. But there's other places out there too. um, Trenchtown, the Rasta Bar that's out there. It's always busy. It has that Jamaica vibe going on about it, the Bob Marley type thing, and they have live music in there, and there's always a ton of people there. I mean, it's a pretty small place, uh, but it's a good place to go if you want to find a place to hang out. One of the ones I keep seeing, I don't know a lot about, but this Tutu Club. Um, it was probably 50% full. They had live music in there, some great uh, drink special. I think 69 baht drink specials, that type of stuff. So that was pretty good. let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here. What was the other ones that I wanted to mention in here? Oh, Time Bar. That was another one that I talked to. They had like 18. Their staff was 18 plus, something like that, for last night, and it was busy too. And I talked to a bunch of people there. That's kind of the place people go for parties in general. Now, every place wants to throw a party, okay, but only certain places throw good parties, okay. So, and the thing is about any area, it doesn't matter whether you're on Soy 6 or Walking Street or LK, things change daily. Um, so it could be fantastic in some place today, but tomorrow, a bunch of people can go home. They can, you know, a lot of the staff work on 10 days or 30 days contracts, that type of stuff. And if you hit one of those time frames where half of the staff takes off to the village, uh, everything seems to be pretty slim. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah. Uh, let's see. I mentioned Salona Bar. That was good. Um, Billabong. So, and the other big clubs out there, um, that the number one club in the LK area of nightclub or type thing is Top Gun. Absolutely, it's always packed. One of my good buddies says it's too dark in there, but the seating is pretty comfortable. The beer prices are overall pretty good. Um, Now, as Doug was talking about, he feels like the beer prices or the drink prices are more expensive in the LK area versus Walking Street. Walking Street offers uh, better value because you have more staff and the drink prices are cheaper and there's more. Okay, so uh, a normal venue on Walking Street might have their staff may be 200 plus, something like that. And you take a place like Shark on Walking Street, it has to be the number one place on Walking Street, right? Um, and probably everybody has um, I don't know, everybody has their own preferences when it comes to that, but the models at at Shark, yeah. So if you're looking for the place to go, you definitely want to check out Shark. Excess is good, Pinup's good, but they're not at the same level Shark is, right? And another place, Harem. It's a very small place. Um, I'm back to Walking Street. I'm jumping around. I'm sorry about that. And Palace is kind of an Asian place, right? But they're packed all the time too. So yeah, so you kind of jump around with that type stuff. There's other places beside, you know, LK. It's famous for, or the Soy Bacow area is famous for, um, the Tree Town area, and that's still running steady. There's certain areas, not all bars are created equal, and a lot of that comes down to locations. Number one, absolutely, locations number one, and probably number two in my book is the manager slash mama san. Okay, the mama san. If you have a great mama san, like shout out to Da was always mine, and Da, she had her own staff ahead of time. So when you hire a somebody like Da, uh, she already has everybody that works for her. So you 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 hire her, and she brings the staff with her, and that's what happens with a lot of these bars. If you get angry with your manager and she leaves or he leaves, they may take the staff with them, and that could be suicide for a bar. So, and you talk to any of these guys that have been out here doing um, this type of thing for a long time. Yeah, Mike, you're exactly it. They set the tone for what's going on, and if if the mama san's a money grabbing type fiend inside the club that's only out for her, probably the club's not going to last too long. I'm telling you. You have to find somebody that's taking care of the club, taking care of the staff. Number one. So, so yeah, when you're walking around uh, Soy Baikal, for instance, and you see a massive amount of people in one club, and then this great club sitting right next door with nobody in it, you're wondering what's going on. And it just doesn't make any sense. Um, and I guarantee you, it's coming down to the staff. Generally, managers, for the most part, for the really successful club, the managers are normally Westerners, and the Western manager, uh, hopefully, they're good at networking. Okay, they have a lot of friends, so they can get online every night, and they send out these promo ads about their club, what's going on, and they get all their friends, and their friends share with their friends, and they get people in there, customers every night. And so, like the Night Witch group over on Soy 6 was really famous for that. And they really got things going. But there's other guys like NDTV, and um, Neil Dean on Soy 7. He's really great at that, and they network and they get the word out. Uh, Mac TV is another good one. I like him. I don't get to watch these guys as good, but they're definitely mentors when it comes to guys like me, seeing how things are really done well. I think. I'm not sure about all the bright lights and everything. I think the lights are catchy in general. But sometimes I've heard enough from old guys saying, they're maybe too bright, all the strobes and that type of stuff. So I like them. I think I'm all about innovation and making things look as modern as possible, that type of stuff. So, but yeah, there's fantastic areas, and I'll tell you what, even at let's say midnight last night on LK Metro area, most places were really rocking. Most of the places were, I would say, most of the clubs that we went into, we were kind of purposely going into different places, staying for one or two drinks and moving on. Okay. But most places were at least 50% full. Um, but the certain places that we liked the best even had more customers, even though the staff wasn't as high. So the places on LK that we liked the best, number one, Top Gun, Mama San's was good. Las Vegas was good. Um, let's see, was there any other place that was really, another place? This was a new place, a place called Eve, EVE. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic too. Um, let's see here. What I had a note here. Their drink prices were like 130 or so. They had 20 plus staff members there. They had 6 stages in there, that type of stuff, and people were getting around and talking and that type of stuff. Overall, I thought that was really good too. Um, yeah. So LK is definitely a good place to go. There's that uh, the beer garden that's across the street, Las Vegas Beer Garden. It looked to be pretty busy as well. So, but I think the further you get out of those main areas there, and you start getting down to like Soy Boomerang, and that's where you have gentlemen's clubs and that type of stuff going on. And I'm not going to really touch on those, but those areas there, I don't see as busy right now with low season. But they still draw in a certain amount of people. Okay, the Soy Boncat area is another good area that you're looking for daytime type of action, that type of stuff. A lot of people still go over there. Um, there's places over on Pratamac Soy 5. I'll tell you what, I did a video just recently. I don't know if it's been published yet or not on Soy 5 on Pratamac. By 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it's pretty dead over there. But if you're an early guy and you like to go over there early, they have these really nice um, uh, clubs over there that have great drink specials. Okay, I was going down Primax Soy 5, and there's a place over there you can get beers for 39 baht. I mean, how do they sell 39 baht beer? I don't get it, but you're not making any money at that, for the bar, but they're bringing you in. Maybe they're feeding you food, that type stuff, listening to good music. I hear the old Bernie's. I'm not sure what's the name of the place over there on Soy 5, but the old Bernie's coming back. So if you hear about any of that, let me know. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, go well, go Shell. Cobra, Benny's Roadhouse. Yeah, 39 baht beer, Benny's. What a deal, you know. Uh, that's worth it for the guys that are living here on a budget. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to throw this out there at you. I'm going to try to stay off this subject too much, but if you're finding any of this information helpful, um, when you hit that like button, it signals to the algorithm to share with other people. Okay. And it's a good thing for me, and it's a good thing for you, I hope. Anyway, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I definitely appreciate it. Okay. Anyway, you know, yeah, too early to be drinking at 3 p.m. I agree. I have this thing in my head that I don't drink until noon, but even then, that's too early for me. Okay. It has there been times that I've drank all night? Sure. Okay. But at some point or another, it resets in my head that it's too early to be drinking, and I stop. And I don't like to get drunk. Okay. I'm a sleepy drunk. So I don't like to get drunk. And the older I get, the less I want to drink. Yeah. So last night it was strictly Coke Zero. So just to kind of give you an idea, I didn't have any alcohol whatsoever last night. I could have, but I didn't. So yeah, that's the way it goes for me and a lot of my friends for whatever reason. We're getting older, you know. Um, and then when you jump over to Jomtien, the main areas over there, what is probably Soy 4, Beach Road, okay, Soy 4, Soy 7, Soy 11. Uh, yeah, those are all popular areas. What I find out that with Soy 7 or so, kind of the Scandinavian area. Okay, so lots of Scandinavian guys in that area, but they're fun areas to be in. Soy 4 is 2, Soy 11. The Rompo Market area is a lot of fun too. But I went through there. I'll see if Mike's still here or not. If he's been over there, or Night Flight. I don't know if he's been over there lately, but yeah, Rompo. There's That's a good area to check. And I would almost say I hate to say if you're on a motorbike, I don't want you drinking and driving, by any means. Uh, but you definitely go out there and take a look around. There's talent. Uh, there's talent lurking. Does that make sense? But yeah, so Rompo Market area is pretty good. Um, you know, uh, it's hit and miss for me. By the time I get over there, it's usually pretty late. I've met one of you guys at a restaurant or something like that, and yeah, so that's another option. And the dark side. Okay, we were down at Bang Saray. We were down at Nha Dam Tien at my buddy Peter's place, Peter and Pies, and we went out to dinner at Bang Saray. Now, a lot's changed down there. I have to get down there and do a video. There's no doubt about it. But it's getting bigger and better. There's no doubt about it. But I wonder how late people stay out. I'm used to. Is Bang Saray in the province lifestyle. I don't know. You know, maybe Bangsaray stays open later than the province does. You know, when I was living up in Udon Thani and right outside of Bangchang area, by 8 p.m. everything was dead. Okay, 7:30 was like 7:30 p.m. was like last call. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, but how is Bangsaray? Um, if you live down there, definitely put it in the comment section below. I bet by 9, 10 o'clock at night, things kind of slow down quite a bit. Yeah, you know, that sort of thing. So now, uh, night flight, you hardly anybody in the market lately. Which market are we talking about? Over here, Scout Camp or Runway or where? But oh, maybe Rompo Market. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm off on a different track. But anyway, so and then we kind of jump across the other side of the tracks. We go over to the dark side. And everybody's familiar with the dark side, right? Okay, Rompo is very quiet now. I get that. Okay. Yeah, it's low season and it's the mixed time. You know, we're getting ready to, even though low season, this time of the year is the rainy season. And it's technically still monsoon season. But right now we're in a mixed lull of the weather. Um, we're coming out of the really hot weather that Thailand has to offer. Okay, don't get me wrong; it's going to stay in the 90s. There's no doubt about that. But the rainy season is probably only going to increase from this point all the way until mid October. Okay, so we've had some really strong belly washers. Okay, there's been time I get people ask me uh, about my kitchen on the balcony. Okay. And there's an overhang from the balcony above me that extends out about 1.5 feet, 18 inches, something like that. And for the most part, I never get water on my balcony. And it's because of that. And so this would be like my fifth or sixth monsoon season that I went through. And I've never had a problem with, you know, I have my refrigerator, microwave, all the electronic stuff out there. I've never, ever had a problem. Okay. And I seldom ever get any water on my balcony, maybe a foot in or so. And I happen to have plants there and the plants benefit from that. You know, that's fine. But this year has been a different story. Now, I haven't had any problem with electronics or anything, but the wind's been blowing in and I've been getting more water on my balcony, which is completely different. And so it's not uncommon during these massive storms that we've had that I go out there and my entire balcony floor is completely wet, which is completely not the norm. So things change all the time in Thailand. There's no doubt about it. You have to kind of be prepared for that type of thing. Now, when it comes down, I don't want to stay on this subject too long about my condo, okay? But when it comes down to it, I love having my kitchen on the balcony. It was inside here initially when I bought this place, and I moved it out on the balcony because I've had Thai homes before, and I understand the significance of having an outside kitchen or a dirty kitchen or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, and it just works great for me. But it's not going to work perfect for everybody. And when I was living over at Park Beach, I had an indoor kitchen, and it was a space that initially I used for cooking and that type of stuff. But the longer I was living here, I found out it was so much cheaper and easier just to eat out. So that's what I started doing. And so here, other than using the microwave, or maybe I like to make these bag salads, you know, that type of stuff. But other than that, I very seldom ever cook anything other than the microwave. Yeah. So that it just works perfect for me. Yeah, I make coffee every day. So that's a pretty easy uh, thing. But anyway, so you have dark side. That's another area that um, I'm sure right now the dark side is anybody in the dark side right now. You know, I'm sure the dark side is pretty slow right now. Um, it's the people that are actually living there. That are going to these places and that type of stuff. But there's a mass of pool of bars and nightclubs and gentlemen's clubs, that type of stuff that are located on the dark side. So, what are we talking about? The dark side? That's anything east of Sukhumvit Highway. Okay, uh, that's Sukhumvit Highway's Highway 3, and that's a main road that runs down uh, the coast all the way to Bangkok. So if we went out to the Sukhumvit Highway from here, which is only it take me about 3 or 4 minutes to get to Sukhumvit, and I take a left and I just keep going north for an hour and a half, I'll eventually be in Bangkok. So that's an option. I've actually driven that way one time before. There's a lot of stoplights and that type of stuff. So I always take the motorway if I'm going to go Bangkok. But it's still about the same time period. I think about an hour and a half, 2 hours by Sukhumvit, or if you take the motorway, it's about an hour and a half on the motorway, and you're going a lot faster. But anyway, yeah, that's something else. Obviously, I'm not trying to get anybody to drive here in Thailand. Um, but if you're taking a taxi and you have a choice between going on a motorway versus the regular roads, I would always suggest taking the motorway. Motorways are tolls, okay? But, I think going from Pattaya to Bangkok, it's going to cost you around 300 baht, approximately $10, okay, for one way going all the way to Bangkok. And it seems to me like I went across the Golden Gate Bridge, which I don't know, is that a mile or something long, something like that, and it ended up costing like $10 20 years ago to go across that. So I don't know what tolls cost in the U.S. right now, but um, if you're comparing things to the U.S. or whatever country you're from here and what toll prices are here, it's amazing that yeah, it's amazing there. So uh, let's see here. Yeah, Lewis, Taco. Remind me, I'll meet you there. Um, yeah, lately we've been going to Taco on Thursdays. Buy one get one free. I was supposed to go there um, two days ago. We had reservations, had to cancel right at the last minute. Ended up seeing somebody, and you probably hear it in my voice. Ended up getting a sore throat. Okay, and I had to get on antibiotics. Of course, that's one of the reasons why I'm not drinking right now. But I feel a lot better and everything. Uh, People were asking me yesterday; they can hear it in my voice, but I have a pretty deep voice anyway. So um, I don't know. Yeah, you have to just kind of tell me what you think on that end of it there. Uh, Let me see here. I'm gonna go through these questions on here. But anyway, um, so the dark side has lots of options. Somebody asked me about if I ever go to Bangkok, for instance, and I do. Like once every 6 months, and it's just too busy up there. The traffic it drives me insane, and yeah, it's not. Um, you know, I if I have a choice, if I'm going out nightlifing in the Bangkok area, everybody's going to have their favorites. Okay, um, Nana's just too busy for me. Okay, real tight controls there. You have to go through this choke point, which is good, a security choke point. They don't allow you to take any type of pictures in there. They're really, really strict. And if you start pulling out a camera and start taking pictures, uh, even the bar girls or the staff in there is going to call you out on that. Okay. Um, and here's a whole nother thing. I was in a club yesterday and they have signs up, be on the lookout for people with the meta glasses, the the Ray-Bans that you can take video with and that type of stuff. So one of the clubs I was in the restroom, okay, had a sign up as a offering a reward. If you see anybody with these Ray-Ban type recording glasses and you tell a staff and they end up catching somebody, you get money for turning in people. you know so that's another thing to be careful about. I'll tell you what. They take recording inside clubs seriously. Okay, I made the mistake one time. It wasn't that long ago. I don't know if I was drunk or what I was thinking of, but I actually took a picture in a club. They pounced on me. I was at Windmill. That's a whole nother place. Okay, I was at Windmill when that happened, and I knew better. But for whatever reason, I did something, I don't know, complacent or something like that. But you don't want to get caught up like that. And I see it all the time. People pull out their phone. They're so impressed by what they see or wherever they're at, and they start taking photos. And then all of a sudden they dive on them. I had a guy recently, um, one of you guys, one of the viewers, okay, that came in and he started taking pictures. And they went through his phone and they deleted a lot. Okay, they wanted to, not only did they want to have you open up everything, they wanted to see in your secure folders, that type of stuff. Then they want to see in the trash, and they want to see if anything uploads to the cloud, anything like that. They want to go through all of that type of stuff. And if you don't, they just confiscate the phone, and then you kind of have to deal with the police, that type of stuff. Um, do couples go to the Windmill? Absolutely, 100%. You see that all the time. I have another my brother Doug and his girlfriend go all the time. So uh, yeah, I'd throw that out there. Um, but yeah, I shouldn't say a lot. A lot of couples go there. It's probably more single guys than anything. But uh, I think for the most part, everybody is welcome. For sure. So let me see here. Is there anything else there? Let's see here. A bus ticket round trip to Bangkok is only $350. Hey, that's a good option. Okay. Um, yeah. You know, I've never done that. Okay. I've never taken a bus up there. And the reason why is because I like to go from point A to point B. I feel like personally, if I'm not driving, sometimes I drive up there. But if I'm taking a taxi will take me from point A to point B. I don't have any mess. Like from my condo, taking a taxi over to the bus station, okay, and then taking a bus to the bus station in Bangkok, and then having to take a taxi from the bus station to my hotel or a train or that type of stuff. But a lot of people will look at that as an adventure, okay? And even though I feel like I'm pretty adventurous, I've never done it. So maybe that's something I have to do eventually, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to step outside. I'm going to take the camera out there with me. Hopefully it doesn't get too, and try to give you an idea of what I'm looking at out here. It does seem like it's pretty good. I see somebody out there parasailing now, but so, well, can you see that? So this is what I'm looking at right now. It doesn't look to be too breezy out, but anyway, the building directly behind me there is Wongamat Garden Towers, okay, and the one right next to that is Siam Penthouse 3, and then let's see here, a little bit further in the distance there. I don't know if you can really see that or not. The Palm, and right behind me there, the older white building is Silver Beach, and then this building there is Park Beach, and then the furthest building out there is Aram, and I did a video over right there. So there's Aram, and I did a video over there at Tim's condo. If you didn't take a look at that, definitely check out that condo. He has a infinity jacuzzi up on the balcony, and it is fantastic. It's yeah, yeah, yeah. Leo's. I put a shout out to Leo's, right? So right there is Park Beach. I'm going to go back inside, but Park Beach. Um, let's see if anybody want to see what my condo looks like in here. So I have a studio, 48 square meter condo, basically. Yeah. Anyway, my shoebox. Let's see here. Get this situated back in this rack. Okay. Sorry about all the jumping around. You know, I have these trimmers. People ask me all the time about my hand shaking. Okay. And I have this, it's called Essential Trimmers. And I've had it since I was pretty young. My mom had it. And I take medicine that controls it pretty good. But I do shake. And if you get to know me, the other day it happened. If I pick up anything with my left hand, every now and then I get this massive tremor and things fly. Okay, my right hand's more controlled. But anyway, it's something that I lived with. And I worked law enforcement all my life, shot guns. I was kind of a gun advocate, maybe a nut. I don't know. Now I don't. I only have one left in the U.S., but I sold everything. Basically, this last trip, I was back last September. I'll be back in the U.S. again in September. I'm going back for a guy's wedding. So let's see here. Yeah. So middle of nowhere. He's over on at Cozy Beach, a studio in Cozy Beach. And how much is your rent over there? I'm curious to hear that. Uh, so he has a high-end studio in Cozy Beach for 15,000 plus. We run the AC and two people, 2,000 in utilities. That's pretty good. This last month, my utilities was 3,000. Um, I'm not sure why, as I probably haven't rent. It was a hot month, so normally my utilities are 2,000 or less. But you know, and over at Aram, I was talking to Tim, and he has that 88 square meter, and he runs uh, the ACs. He has a central system for the entire place, but he doesn't think about it. Um, I shouldn't say he can afford to do what he wants, but his utilities was 8,000. Okay, for just electricity with 8,300 baht, which is that's when I had my bar electric was normally around 7,000 a month. Give you an idea. Okay, so that's pretty high for that. Yeah, night flight. He said a hot month. This was as high as it's ever been. Yeah. So let's see here. Gundam, how much do you pay for monthly for your studio? Well, I own my studio. Okay. So I do. This is my property here. So basically, I have a video on what my monthly breakdown is, but to just give you a approximate per month, it costs me about $200 a month to live in this condo. Okay, so that covers everything from my maintenance fees for the entire year. My maintenance fees here are approximately $50, and for the year, it's like let's see here, it's 17,500 baht for the year. Plus, we have a amendment for paying for extra things of an extra 5,000, so 22,500. So it's about $700 um, a year, and then divide that by 12. It's going to be 50 something. Okay, something like that. But we pay everything. Um, we pay it all at one time. Every September next month, our maintenance fees are due. So, and then it takes care of it. So, like next month, I'll pay, let's say, $700 out, and that's it for the entire year. And then my electric bill is normally around 2,000. So let's just call that $60, and you throw everything else in there, like your let's say Wi-Fi and data, and maybe Android box, um, those type things, maybe insurance if you have it. Yeah, I may end up spending, let's say, $200 a month max for all that stuff joined. I think if you look at that video, my actual costs were like $132 for the month. Now, is it common for people to be in the same situation as me? It is if you own your place. Okay. If you don't own, you can find there's lots of places that are available for 15,000 a month. Okay, so $500 or less. Um, you have lots of options if you want to have a sea view like I have, or if you want to be more interior to the city. You're probably looking at prices dropping quite a bit. And it kind of depends on how new the building is versus how old and what type of amenities, it has. So to me, I can't imagine. Why would you live in a uh, a seaside community and not have a sea view? But there's lots of people that don't care about that. Okay. And they probably reap the benefits of not having the sea view, taking a room on the other side of the building and still being within blocks from the sea or the ocean or the Gulf of Thailand. Okay. Um, and they may be able to save money. So we, all the way up until, let's see here, just recently, we've had a sign up on one of our rooms here for 8,000 a month. Um, and I think you can still find in this area rooms for 8, 10, 12, 13, 15,000, something like that. Now, the nicer condos, let's say like Tim is running at Aram, it's 88 square meters, super luxury. Okay. If you get a chance, please look at that video. It's give you an idea, facial recognition, a computer. If you have a car, you pull into the bay and the computer parks your car in one of the stalls, 4 levels underground. It's pretty cool the way how high tech everything is. But on the other hand, he's spending 150,000 baht a month. Now, put that in perspective. My budget's only 100,000 baht a month for the way I live here, and I live a great life. Okay, um, you know, but that's my budget. His monthly rent is more than my budget is. So, but it's a fantastic place, and if you can afford to live that way, you definitely should take advantage of it. You only live once. Um, you work for it. You probably should. Well, I don't want to tell you how to spend your money, by any means, but it's pretty impressive to me what he has over there, and we went over there and we had dates and went swimming and that type of stuff, and it was nice. And all top of the line, super luxury, yes. And if you can afford it, go for it. I have another friend that lives over there, and we have another viewer that lives over there as well. I'm hoping to do a walkthrough of their condo and to give you more insight of what's available over there. The cheapest condos for rent that I've seen have been around 40,000 or so. So what's that, like $1,200 a month? Yeah. So and they're smaller than this condo. They're like 40 square meters. Now, personally, um, I think you need at least 36 square meters. If you're a single person, I think 36 square meters is probably the minimum size that you should be looking at. Okay. And when you're talking about that, when you're looking at buildings, I don't care whether it's old or new. I would never suggest going and getting a condo that doesn't. If you're going for a condo, you want the building to have a minimum of 3 elevators. Okay. Hopefully more. The thing is elevators break down. Okay. In my building, we have 3 elevators. And if one breaks down, how important is it to get that elevator fixed? In my book, I'm on the committee here, so I have a say in what things are considered an emergency or not. To me, an elevator is a massive emergency. And it's not that we have 2 other ones available. The idea is that we have 3 in case one does break down. Okay. But the thing is we need to get people out here today. Okay. Right away. It's an emergency to get, because we don't want a second one to break down or a third one, that type of thing. And the guys that are up on the 31st or 32nd floor don't, it's not so bad to walk down from up there, but to walk back up there, yeah, that would have to suck. But so the thing is you want to make sure they have at least 3 elevators. You want to make sure they have 24/7 security. You want to make sure that the amenities are there and that they're in good working conditions, such as having a pool that has clear water in it, okay, or or a fitness center that has good working equipment in it. Does that make sense? That type of thing. 24/7 security. Somebody that's watching your place, having a place to park your motorbike or car. Okay, that doesn't cost you extra per month. When you go over to Pattaya Hill, the guys over there, do you have to pay extra for having a place to park? A lot of the buildings you do. When I lived over there, I had a condo in Siam Oriental, and over between Soy 4 and 5. And yeah, he had to pay a monthly charge at Siam Oriental for a parking space. And the parking spaces weren't guaranteed for residents. Anybody on the street that needed a parking spot could come in and rent a spot. That I hated that. Okay. But there's lots of reasons why people like that area. That's just one of the things that I didn't agree with, but you know how that goes. So, yeah. So Night Flight's talking about he had to pay 500 baht deposit and 100 baht a month for a covered parking spot in the garage in the new place. He just moved in to a condo building over on Prattamac. So it's going to be a new experience. I'm excited. I want to come over there and do a video on his place if he ever lets me in there. If you ever get a chance, I'm just putting it out there. Night Flight, he's a cool guy and a ton of life of experiences. Someday, I'm hoping he allows me to interview him, but I'm putting him on the spot now. And we got an interview with Roger. Is Roger here? I don't know or not. Got an interview with Roger coming up on Wednesday. So anyway, we're looking forward to that. So we'll have everybody has a story. Everybody likes these interviews. Everybody has a story, right? And I appreciate that so much. The reason why I don't have more interviews, it's hard to get. Okay, so I just don't interview anybody. I like people that I feel have an expertise. Okay, that have done something in their lives, and so and a lot of times some of these guys that I feel like have done things in their lives want to remain private. And I understand that, So the thing is, there's a lot of you guys out there that can help other guys so much. Your knowledge of this area, Thailand, Southeast Asia in general, is invaluable. All right. So, and I'm still learning, absolutely, So, and a guy like Night Flight, for instance, super cool guy. He doesn't know it, but he's super cool. And there's other guys out there as well that fall in the same boat. Okay. And, I appreciate everybody. I really do. Everybody, uh, guys in my members only area. If you don't know about that, there's an if you're curious about it, click on the join button, and there's an intro. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can look at that and see the different levels and that type of stuff. But and these guys have been with me a long time. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm always looking for new people to interview. And if you're interested in doing an interview, by all means, send me a note. Let me know at margaritasinparadise@gmail.com, and I'll come to you. Well, if you're in Thailand, I'll come to you. Or if you're I shouldn't say anywhere in the U.S. If you're in the Midwest in September, maybe I can come to you of the USA. Okay. Anyway, I do have a buddy of mine. I'm just throw this out here. Ray, he's getting married on September 24th. He's like 71 years old, right? And he's been living with the same girl for the last 20 years, Margie. And anyway, and they're getting married. So congratulations. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, we're going back for that. And then what else we got going on? It's something every day. We actually have something every day. Tonight is JD's open house. I think a lot of you guys, if you're here in town and you know about that, Mr. JD, so I did a video on his pool villa. You can look back in in my content and see that. Anyway, he has a big open house going on there, and if you're in the know, if you know where he's at, show up. I don't know. Should I say that? Maybe. Anyway, yeah. So it's going to be a big party, and there's another YouTuber going to be there, Cooper. Okay. I think it's Cooper's Thai Adventure. He's going to be there doing video of that. I haven't ever met him yet, but I'm looking forward to meeting him. So shout out to Cooper. And there was another guy there. I just don't have the time to go out and meet everybody, but I'm definitely open to meet people. And Pete on retreat or something like that, I think is going to be there as well. So anyway, hopefully to meet you guys. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see here. Is there anything else I should be going over? Is it possible to find true love in Pattaya? Yes, absolutely. I did. So, yeah, Democrat from Texas. Okay. Well. Um, you know, um, it is love here. A lot of people come here for a lot of different reasons, right? And um, I would say that relationships in Pattaya work here more than what you think. I have lots of friends of mine that have been married for 20 plus years that have children, and their children have children. Uh, and a lot of the women originated out of the bar seats. Okay. But those are the stories that people don't talk about for whatever reason. I just had a viewer on here last week that said that he met his wife on Soy Six, and she had only been there for like 2 days or something like that, and right away he got her out of that situation, rescued her from that situation. I think that is a rescue. What do you think? And got her, took her back to her province. Now, the thing is I've lived the province life. Um, yeah, people like the drama stories. That's exactly it, But I've lived the province life, and I like the beach life. Is what uh, is what I like, you know. Um, so when I was living in the province, I ended up, even though I liked the farm, I liked having this massive orchard, and I personally installed this irrigation system and sprinkler system and everything. I had fun doing that, but I ended up missing the English language. I was so isolated, even though I had an Australian guy by the name of Peter who's moved down here since then, who lived next to me. You know, he was 30 years older than me. So even though he was a great mentor, somebody I could learn a lot from, he wasn't in my age group, so he wasn't exactly what I needed to be around all the time. Does that make sense? So, but I'm a beach guy as it turns out. I like being here on the beach. And so living the farm life wasn't for me, but I tried it for a period of time. Okay. But like this guy, he rescues this girl from Soy Six, goes up, um, he builds a house. He has everything he wants. He's building some type of small business up there for her and her family. And he's really doing what he can afford to do. I was watching a guy, there's another Isan YouTuber that built a house for $38,000. Okay, just over $1 million baht, and that's really doable. I did too. Okay, I bought a piece of land and built a house up there, and it was less than $30,000 back at the time, and yeah, so it's very doable. You can, if that's the type of lifestyle you want, um, and more of those relationships work than you hear that don't work. The ones that you hear about are the blood sucking. you know, uh, a girl gets a hold of you, and you know, how do you become a millionaire in Pattaya, Thailand? Well, the easy answer is what? You bring $2 million, okay? Because you're probably going to go through that $1 million, or at least 1 million of it. All right. So, yeah, it's it's one of these things that um, you have to be careful, and if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Um, so let me jump in here. Uh, Sylvester, Mr. Sylvester. Been watching you for the last 2 years. Just sold my house in the UK. Probably will be in Thailand. Retired in December. Do I think it'll be a busy? You know what? December is always busy. Okay, it's a great time of the year to settle in. Well, the thing is the weather's going to be fantastic in December. There's no doubt about that. And everybody, right now we're at the low of low season, so everybody's expecting a great high season. Um, I would highly suggest, if you haven't done so already, that you're already looking for a place to stay. Don't show up in December and expect to just go out and find a place to stay. Touch bases with Rich, uh, my buddy Rich, and his girlfriend V at Happy Life Realty. Um, yeah, and send a message to maybe Night Flight. His girlfriend is another broker, I believe, too. So you can direct flight or talk to him. Maybe, I don't know if she's open for additional people or that type of stuff. But yeah, definitely. Uh, yeah, this high season is going to be a welcome to everybody, I'm sure. And I'm sure it's always going to be a high season. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, middle of nowhere. Yeah, see, isn't that great? Um, he's on a 1.5 year relationship, uh, 10-year age difference. Pretty good, pretty doable. You know, um, High flight. He's 66, 46, 20-year difference. Real estate agent. Um, yeah, you know, there's lots of girls here. They're not here for your money. And you know, you talk about um, all of my friends. A good example is Amazon or Cat or Gay or On. All of them have their own jobs. They don't need my money. Okay, so um, are those transactional relationships? No, they're not. Um, and of course, I see other people. We've talked about that. Um, and let's see, tonight it's 7 o'clock tonight. I think 6:45, something like that. I have a new video coming out about things that have changed me. Um, hopefully, you'll check that out. Uh, my um I had 14 items in that video that I've changed since I've moved to Thailand, and number 15, I kind of played with whether I wanted to include it or not. And what I ended up doing is I put it in the comment section below for of that video. But it's in the members only area right now. So if you're a member, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay. But tonight, yeah, the 15th, and it comes out, I think, around 7 p.m. my time. Okay. Um, Maybe it's 6:45. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, that's a good video to check out. So the things that uh, changed the way I think or do things since I moved to Thailand. I thought it was a pretty good video overall. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, so Night Flight, she doesn't make that much money, but she has a legitimate job outside the bar industry. I don't care how much money she makes. She's a gift. Right. She's fantastic. She's got a great smile. I went by him the other day on the motorbike, and she was just giggling at me and everything. So yeah, good on you guys. Okay. Um, let's see here. Patty Agonia. Hey, I appreciate it. Welcome. Moving to Thailand within 2 weeks. Fantastic. Where are you coming from? That's the real question. Um, yeah. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any problems, of course, send me a message. Margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Maybe we can hook up. Let's see here. Um, Tom, 2,500 a month is enough in Jomtien for retirement. I don't drink alcohol. I think 2,500 a month is an easy, comfortable living, especially if you don't drink alcohol. Yeah, absolutely. I do it all the time. Okay, I have more available than that, but I like to save, put away money for the rainy day, and yeah, 2,500 to me that's a sweet spot, and a comfortable living. Uh, you guys know as much as I go out, and as much as I go out to eat, that sort of thing. Um, I enjoy a great life, and you can too. There's no doubt about it. Probably the only benefit that I have over most people is I own my condo, but there's no reason why you can't have an affordable place. If the thing is, um, you know, for let's say 600 to $300 a month rent, if you can find something in that category that you enjoy, um, yeah, I would definitely go that route. Um, I would definitely look at the building. Make sure the building that you're looking at is taken care of. I don't care how old the building is. The older the building, the better constructed the building is. That's the general case, right? But on the other hand, if it's not been painted for a long time, or there's garbage around, or you can drive straight into a building and there's no security, then that's a problem. So I would avoid places like that. That's for sure. Norway, yeah, excellent, brother. I have some friends from Norway, Per, and those, yeah, okay. Underwater welder. Wow. Now see there, this is probably somebody um, with a life story. You know, yeah, we should touch bases when you come here. Um, let's see here, Max Thai. Yeah, you spent time in the Philippines. What made you choose Thailand over it? Okay, I love Thailand, and I love the Philippines, 100%. Okay, and as many of you know, I have a daughter in the Philippines. Okay, so but take take that off to the side. That let's say I didn't have a daughter in the Philippines. Why would I choose the Philippines? Okay, well, there's a couple things that you should take into consideration. Um, is that the Philippines has horrible weather, typhoons, okay, or a regular event in the Philippines. It rains a lot in the Philippines, and they have volcanoes that erupt all the time, and they have earthquakes all the time. Okay, and if that's not the worst thing in the world, okay, they have brownouts all the time. So, shout out to Lady right now. Um, the last 2 days, it's been like 97 degrees there. And the power company, amongst their great wisdom, has decided to go out and clean vegetation from the wires. So they've shut off power for the last 2 days. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. But, you know, so I ask a lady, for instance, I say, well, are you calling up the power company every day and complaining about this? Oh, no, no. Why? They'll get angry with us. If you accept the way things are, I don't know. Would this happen in the US? Well, we're not in the US. Like, I don't know if that would happen here in Thailand. People wouldn't put up with that. But, you know, 20 years ago when I was in the Philippines, they still had these same brownouts. And yeah, my daughter has to put up with it too. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay. Um, People talk about the language. Everybody speaks English. No, they don't. The people you're around, if you're in the Philippines and you're around people that speak English, well, you're lucky. Okay. And you go to some nightlife venues, some girls or people speak English. But when you're walking in the street, if you're in Cebu walking down the road and you're lost and you can't figure out Google Maps and you try to ask somebody a question and you walk up to somebody and start talking to them and you see them running away from you, they're in the flight and fright syndrome. Uh, they were probably taught English in school, but they're too afraid to use it, and that's crazy. I don't know. How old am I? I'm 62. 62 years young. You're 47. Oh, it's a young year. Yeah, you got a life to live, brother, and you're going to retire. Fantastic. Yeah, good on you. You know, Thailand uh, is a developing country. Okay, Philippines is a third world country. Um, in Thailand, everybody has a job here, and it's easy to find a job in Thailand. Okay, in the Philippines, people complain about not being able to find a job, and it takes a 4-year university degree to work at 7-Eleven or at Jollibee's. It's crazy, you know. And a good story. I talk about this to my daughter all the time. Chloe, if you're on here, I'm sorry, but the thing is fair fact is that Chloe's never had a job. She's 18 years old, and she's a university student. This, that, and the other. By the time I was 14, I had jobs aplenty. you know, and but because school's so demanding, and this, that, and the other, they can't take the notion of getting a job so early on isn't there for them. Okay. But still, when you're in the Philippines, there's so many poverty stricken people. You see young kids on the street backing out cars or covering motorcycle seats with cordboard and that just for a few pesos, trying to make, I'm sorry about this camera zooming in and out. Um, but just trying to make ends meet, so the Philippines, you know, it's tempting. I don't know. The things you love about the Philippines are these great beaches, okay? And the number one thing that people always talk about are how friendly the people are. And they're absolutely right. And I'll tell you, when I'm in the Philippines, um, a stranger on the street will invite you into their house to eat with you or eat with them. Okay. I'm going to give you a good example. I was in CDO, Cayenne de Oro, and I was looking to rent a motorbike, and I couldn't find a motorbike to rent anywhere. And every place I called, they didn't have anything available. And so I'm sitting there at this nightclub, and I mentioned it to the waiter about not having a motorbikes available at any of these places. And he said, no problem. I can take his motorbike. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Take it. And he said, well, yeah. He said, I can just walk to work. I'm real close. He said, take it as long as you need it. And I said, well, how much do you want to rent your motorbike? And he said, no, you don't. He said, just fill up the tank with gas. He don't worry about it. And this guy was dead serious. Now, and I did take him up on it, and I ended up giving him the going rate. I think it was like at that time it was like 500 pesos a day. He was thrilled. Okay, um, getting that extra stipend basically. I ended up renting it from him for like 5 days, and and we're still good friends today. And he had this bike that worked perfect for us. But anyway, that's the type of things happen in the Philippines. It's the generosity of people in general. Uh, you know, lady will tell you they have uh, the family structure in the Philippines is second to none worldwide, right? And they'll throw a poor family will throw a massive birthday party for a 2-year-old child, and they think it's okay to go in debt for months worth of to pay for this birthday party, to go buy a lichen and uh, have everybody come over and have a good time for this 2-year-old's birthday party. And so that's standard, when they can't afford to eat normally. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, Today is Lady's father's birthday, and happy birthday to him, you know. Um, but no, people don't have the money for this birthday party, but they're going to find a way to celebrate his birthday. I guarantee it. And it's just things like that. Um, the beaches, go to Boracay or Bohol or all the other Palawan are fantastic, absolutely beautiful. But is all the Philippines like that? No way, Where my daughter's in Azama City, right there in Mindanao, and the ocean is a milk chocolate color. It's not the same water conditions that are over at Boracay or Surigao or wherever. Okay. And I don't know why that is. Is it the pollution that's being dumped into the water? I'm not sure, but um, there's certain areas of the Philippines that are fantastic. Healthcare in the Philippines. I was just watching another YouTuber about that, and you really have to be in a developed area. Um, so you don't want to be stuck out on an island, for instance, in constant need of medical care or even medicines. Um, if you're, I have a, I have another video about what all the things that I don't like about the Philippines, or the things that bother me about the Philippines. Okay, like going into a Jollibee's and they don't have um, Coke Zero or Pepsi Max. Okay, even though they advertise that they're out of a certain product, or they don't have ice, or or they don't have fried chicken, or whatever it is that they don't have on the menu, and it's pretty standard in the Philippines. But on the other hand, and I hear this constantly about the Philippines. I would say more people complain about the food in the Philippines than I've ever heard about any other place. People say it's horrible food. To me, I find the Filipino food, fantastic. I love the international flavor. I love all the spiciness. I'm not a fan of vinegar, but a lot of people are. And yeah, so I'm all about the Philippines in general. So I can look beyond certain things. Guys, armed guards everywhere. you know, yeah, and you can go on. There's lots of reasons why. Thailand, where I live in Pattaya, the infrastructure here is fantastic. Uh, do we ever lose power? Sure, during big storms and that, and it's generally back on within an hour or so. Like my building has a generator, for instance, but there's things like that. But in the Philippines, trash on the street is common. Here and up country, sure, there's trash on the streets, but around here, there's not. It's a clean area. Yeah, I could go on and on, I think, but you have to come here, get boots on the ground, and figure out for yourself what you like the best. Okay, so peak towers, yeah, Peak Towers is fantastic. Okay. I've done a video over there as well, I think. And the Nordic buildings over there have had issues. Okay. Lots of money, financial issues. So I would be very cautious when looking into any Nordic product in the Pratamac area. Okay. I don't want to say anything bad about them, but definitely look into everything before signing a lease over there. All right. Um, let's see. I already told you I'm 62. Yeah. Thailand is more modern. That's right. Um, the infrastructure here is fantastic. If you're going to be in the Philippines and you need good infrastructure, you need to be in Manila, Cebu City, uh, those main big hubs that have medical city, hospitals, that type of stuff that you can depend on. All right. So if you're in these smaller cities, um, is it going to be cheaper to live? Probably. Okay. But you need to be in good health and not dependent on medicines and things like that. And yeah, it, if you could speak the language, it's even better. All right. Yeah. So your friend's right. As far as Philippines is definitely third world country. Thailand was third world country. 20 years ago, definitely third world country. Now it's a developing country. There's more. Uh, the middle class has really opened up in Thailand. So I would say at one point um, that probably 70% of everybody in Thailand was in the poverty level, but that's not the case anymore. There's a lot of poverty here, don't get me wrong. Um, but there's a lot more in the middle class. And you see that with people driving, for instance. When I first came here, nobody had a car, or very few people. Now even bar girls have cars, and it's not uncommon for two or three cars in one family, for instance. Um, when I first came to Thailand, I thought I'm done having a car. I don't need a car anymore. But I've already bought a couple cars since I've been here. I have a Isuzu D-Max pickup truck right now that I love. I also have motorbikes. Yeah, you know, um, you have to figure out what you need when you're here. Okay, does that make sense? Um, yeah. So education visa is definitely the way to go for you. And if you're ever interested in talking to anybody, go over and talk to Mark, and it's probably Palm over at One Stop Visa over on Soy Six. They're my go-to um, visa people in town. They make it easy for you, and they speak all the different languages. There's lots of agents in town, so don't get me wrong, but they're my go-to people. So I'll try to put a their location in the comment section below for that. Also, definitely check the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, please give me that big thumbs up. Um, like I say, you're only helping the algorithm. The algorithm likes that you give me the thumbs up and they send out this to other people. Yeah, it's a win-win. So please, I definitely appreciate it. I see right now there's 38 people on here. I got 21 thumbs up. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Um, I appreciate it. Patagonia. Did I say that right? uh, bars are risky to own, right? Yeah, they are. You know, there's 20,000 bars out there, and I've lived that dream too. Okay, I've made all the mistakes. I've owned a bar before, and I was really lucky. But most people are not. Most people lose money when it comes to open bars. Okay, so yeah, you need to have that location. You need to have a mama san that's going to take care of you. Um, and you have to have loyalty. You have to remember that the bar right next door to you is going to welcome you with open arms, but they're going to do, they know that you're after a piece of their pie. Okay. And nobody wants to share their pie with you. Okay. So, um, understand that, um, going into coming here to open a bar, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. Okay, unless you have this super idea that's completely different from everything else. that's going on and you're a great networker, okay, if you're going to be the manager, um, you have to have a lot of friends that are here that are going to come out and support you. Uh, Plus, you have to have a mama-san that has a massive staff, has people, let's see here, yeah, has people available to come work for you. Because if you don't have people working for you, other people are not going to come see you. You need to have a staff. Let's see here. This is up, down, yeah. I have to even out these shoulders. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So I see it all the time that you have this great location. Oh, we were on LK last night, and we were in the Queen Club. Okay, and if you ever been in the Queen Club, you'll know it is a fantastic layout. The club is fantastic. And I'm sure at times they've been very busy in the past, but last night they weren't. Okay. Last night they had like 6 people on stage, and probably their staff was no more than 11 people for the entire place. And you're talking about last night was a Friday night. It, yeah, it was unbelievable. And the lights inside was fantastic. You go into that club, and the atmosphere in that club is fantastic, but it's not a people atmosphere. It's the lights and the music. The DJ is phenomenal, I would say. That's controlling all this type of stuff. But they just didn't have the staff. And the staff, I would call maybe the staff that they had was mature. Okay. So what do I mean by that? An older staff? Does that make sense? Um, Yeah, you know, and is that the type of image that you want to have if you own a club in the Pattaya area? Um, yeah, you want to have a fresh image. You want to be modern. You want to have great prices. I'll tell you another thing, kind of the cold beer thing. Doug will tell you he always asks for cold beer. Um, one of the I in my coolers, I had these coolers that you had to reach down in the cooler and pull it out. I didn't have the the big open chest coolers. Okay, in my bar. Um, but and I felt the reason why I had these well type coolers is because I felt like the beers stayed colder better. Okay, but what happens a lot of times is when they restock these coolers, they push all the cold beer to the back and they restock by all the warm beers up front. Well, when people go to grab a beer, they get a warm beer, and it's crazy, that um, they don't think about your staff is responsible to make sure they rotate your stock, obviously, and serve you the coldest beer possible. It's like one of the things in my video that's coming out tonight. One of the things I do that's different, drinking ice in my beer. Do you like ice in your beer? That's one of the things we do here in Thailand, but that's not the norm. You want ice cold beer, and if you want ice cold beer, where do you go to get ice cold beer? You know, put it in the comment section below, but I'll tell you a place to go. Mike Cooperman at the Chicken Coop. I think they have the coldest beer in town. Okay. And if you go over there, you see Mike, tell him that Tom sent you there for Margaritas in Paradise. But yeah, they're fantastic, and there's other places too. Danny's Sports Bar over on Swayba Cow. You're always going to get a cold beer there. I think Danny would have a fit if you got served a a warm beer there. Okay, and you can tell Danny I told you that too. All right, so um, those are things that your staff is responsible for, and if you go into a place that they're playing Isan music constantly. Okay. That, so they're not, when you go into a bar that doesn't have the music that you like, or the music's too loud and you can't talk at the table, okay, or there's a guy smoking a cigarette and blowing it in your face all the time, or things like that, you have to take all that into consideration of what your bar is going to be about. I don't know. Um, I hope this is making sense to you. Okay. Um, it's like pool table. Everybody wants a pool table, right? When I had a pool table, uh, I had two pool tables, right? So my pool table, they bought them, they were it would cost money to use my pool table. I was like, no, no, we're we're making it free pool. Okay. This 20 baht or 10 baht cost to use a pool table is ridiculous. Whoever opens a bar today in this world in Pattaya needs to have free pool. Okay. Don't try to make your money on that. Okay. Put good paper towels in the toilet and put signs up to keep people from freaking trying to flush tissues in the toilet. But, do things to take care of your customer. Oh, there's something happened there. But make sure everything is going good. Okay, so let's see here. It said something about being unstable. So anyway, we're approaching that 2 hour mark, and I definitely appreciate everybody throwing in those big thumbs up and everything. Let's see. I'm going to try to go back and maybe answer a couple of these questions here. Um, let's see here. Let me see here. All right, Patagonia, we already covered their English language course. Fantastic idea. Um, yeah, Thai courses are too hard, but it's still worth trying. And it's always good to have a handle on basic Thai languages, basic stuff like Swati Kop or whatever. Let's see here. If I have, oh man, I don't even, huh. Oh, well, I thought I had a book here. There's a guy on the street that tries to sell these. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's here. I don't know. Speaking Thai for Tourists Easy. And this book is suitable for beginners. Yeah, and these are fantastic. There's guys that walk around selling these on the streets. Okay. And they charge like 100 baht. And what's 100 baht for this? $3. And what I liked about it was I've been trying to learn the times. Okay. But so it has all your basic information in there and the right ways to say it. And I have like sidecar and that on here trying to get my pronunciation for the Thai language better, and I appreciate it. I really do. I think uh, trying to teach an old dog new tricks is I kind of fall into that. So I'm going to say things a certain way, but I mean no disrespect to anybody over that, and I definitely appreciate people giving me their 2 cents about the way I say it. But yeah, Thai language, definitely try to learn some. You'll impress. Most people know that you're trying, and they appreciate it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Uh, yeah. Let's see, Teddy, the Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, but I picked Thailand to retire. Love Thailand. Yeah. Thailand's fantastic. I love the people too. You're right. Let's see here. Democrat, what's your opinion? YouTubers buying bars. Mac TV has a new bar called Delusions, risky business. Yeah, I think it's really risky. Um, and you have to have a game plan. You really do. Let's see here. Um, I appreciate the thumbs up. Let's see here. Thumbs up now. You're awesome, brother. Uh, yeah, you know, uh, you have to, if you're going to own a bar here, you have to um, have somebody there that can run it for you. Okay. You need to be able to step away. When I was in the bar business, I always left before 1 a.m. I went home. Um, so, yeah. We'll jump back into that maybe next week or something to talk more about that. I know I talked about that a couple weeks ago, but let's see here. Fred Tone, uh, coming from the U.S., it was difficult for you adjusting. Had no clothes, dryers, oven, bathtub, dishwasher, which is the norm in Thailand. Yeah, you know, so I have this video coming out tonight, and it tells you the things that I had to just transition to. Okay, things that I've changed in my life. You know, so to touch on a couple of those type things, you know, the pretty standard thing is that people dry their clothes out on the balcony, right? And when I bought this condo, when I renovated here, I ended up installing a washing machine dryer combination. Okay, and it's not two separate units; it's one unit. So, like last night before I went to bed, I put a load of laundry in. Okay, now it's a smaller load. I think the machine is like an 8 kilo machine. Okay, but if you're drying your clothes in that thing as well, you can only put in like 4 kilos at a time. But for me, that's fine. I'm a single guy, so I put in a couple shirts, a couple pair of boxers, shorts, a couple towels. You know. Anyway, throw that in, and I set it for the economy mode, which is 3 hours, and it washes and dries my clothes. When I wake up in the morning, everything's ready to go. And my machine's a Samsung. It's run on smart things. Um, I put in the laundry soap and the softener once a month, basically. So, you know, it dispenses all the product that you need for using the laundry. And it's fantastic. And that machine, I think it cost me around 15,000 baht, say $500. It's been, yeah, it's fantastic, super easy to use. I would definitely recommend that if you're going to buy in Thailand, and this is not a buyer's market, but if you're going to buy in Thailand or you're going to be here for a long time, uh, having a machine like that is fantastic. Everybody that has it loves it. Okay, Tim over at Aram, he has one as well. He loves it. All right, so yeah. Let's see here. What other? Oven. Yeah, you don't see ovens. I used to have an oven. I bought a portable one. I just didn't use it very much. I ended up giving it away. Um, but yeah, it's not the norm. I mean, most places, if you have a kitchen, have either a one or two burner stovetop. Okay, induction is pretty common here as well. Uh, I use my microwave quite a bit. Bathtub, it's hit and miss. This condo had a bathtub when I first bought it, and I had it removed. Okay, so if you find older condos in my building that haven't been renovated, and that they may have a bathtub in it. That wasn't a thing for me. Okay. Dishwasher, lots of guys have dishwashers. I don't have one. She comes over every now and then. So, yeah, you know, I try not to let my dishes stack up too high out there. I need to do them right now. But, and Amazon's coming tonight. So, yeah, kind of weigh that out. We got the big party over at JD's open house, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Um, let's see here. Where am I at here? I know about them all. not personal thoughts. Okay, yeah. Um, Democrat, I appreciate that thumbs up. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, every time I get a thumbs up, it signals to the algorithm that I'm saying something right or whatever. And in all honesty, when I started this channel, and it was during the pandemic, and I was watching other guys on there, and they were talking about things that I just didn't agree with. Okay, and they were talking about how cheap it is to live here, for instance, and it is cheap. Okay, your money definitely goes further. Okay, but it's not free. Okay, and you don't want to come here broke. So um, when I started the channel, it wasn't about me making a bunch of money or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I want to make money, but the thing is it was just something I enjoyed doing. When I was in the Air Force, I was security forces, military police back in the old days, security police. Um, and it was a customer service thing, and I always loved that, and I love community service and things like that, and I still enjoy that. And if you can't tell, I'm definitely a talker, and that's the reason why um, I'm open to meeting you guys and going out to dinner or lunch or whatever, that type of stuff, having a beer, sharing a coffee. um, so I like that. Okay, and if you ever want to, the send me a note, margaritasinparadise at gmail.com. Let's get together. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, Marty's on here. If I don't have a cold beer handy, I put ice in it. Yeah, no big deal, right? Yeah. And I feel the same way now. But, at one point, it took a while to adjust to putting ice in your beer. And is there anything better than a nice cold beer? Okay. I guarantee you that yeah, I shouldn't say this, but if you go to Mike's at Chicken Coop, does anybody put ice in their beer there? I don't know. It's like, maybe ask him. I don't know. It's funny, it's yeah. Uh and Marty, let's see here. Captain Gyro. Let's see here. Yeah, sports bar, Chiefs game. Yeah, better yet, only games they want. Yeah, doing highlights of have a Chiefs bar. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, we got a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans in here, and then with Kansas City Chiefs fans, there's always Kansas City Chiefs haters. So, and we love you guys. We love anybody that supports the Chiefs in any way. I love you. Okay, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. What team do you like? Okay, and if you don't like American football, what football do you like? You like AFL, Premier League, what? And what's your team? Put it in the comment section below. I want to know. I want to know. Let's see here. I'm part of the Danny's Sports Bar uh, uh, Fantasy Football League. I've been part of that since the beginning, so we got that coming up. Okay, New England. All right, got it. You know, so the plain truth is I've back in the Brady days, I I don't know how many times I threatened to switch to New England. I mean, gosh, man, it's easy to cheer on a winning team, right? But I never did. I never switched, even though I put Tom Brady as probably one of the all-time greatest uh, quarterbacks that's ever played. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I put him right up there with John Elway. John Elway, I think, was the best ever. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, so Yeah, I'm sorry about staying up so late here on this here. Um, Falcons, gotta love Falcons. Okay. Um, let's see here. Did I miss anybody? Let's see here. I'll get you all in here. There's no doubt about it. Steelers, yeah. And my buddy Tom out there, lifelong best friend in the world, Steelers fan too. Um, yeah, the bus. Who was refrigerator Perry? The bus. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm not sure if on the visa in Thailand. So if you don't do your own 90-day reporting, you know, I go over and have One Stop take care of mine. Now you can go online and do it. Okay. And this new Thim app, we have to, I just downloaded that myself, but I know the 90-day reporting on that isn't available yet. Um, but, I have went down and did my 90-day reporting. It's a pretty simple process. You just have to stand in line sometimes. So I always use One Stop. When I go to One Stop, just because I use their visa extension process and everything, they take care of all my 90-day reporting for free. Okay, and it just works out good for me. And I like free, anything that's free is always a good thing. And things that make my life easier, like One Stop Visa service on Soy 6. You can check out their, I'm not trying to promote them, well, maybe a little bit. And if you use their service, make sure you tell them that Tom from Margaritas in Paradise sent you. Okay. So let's see, cowboy fan. God, man. I was that young kid that had the poster on the wall, the cowboy cheerleaders. I had the Roger Staubach um, jersey. The who was the Emmett Smith back in my day? Yeah, yeah. L.A. Rams. Oh my God, man! I'll tell you what. So of course I was born and raised in St. Louis, and of course we lost the Rams to you guys. Oh well, you deserve them. You deserve, and they're doing good right now, right? Yeah. So, uh, let's see, Tony. Sugar tonight. Are you gonna I'm not planning on going to Sugar. Tonight I have the big open house party over at Mr. JD's place. So no plan on it right now, but there's a possibility. You never know. Um, okay, so the prediction is that the Chiefs and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Okay. All right. So I was talking to another viewer subscriber and and uh yeah, let's see here. I don't even want to put that out there. Okay. Rosie Greer. All right, all right. Yeah, man. What are these names? They come out there. Good memories, that's for sure. Uh yeah, Green Bay. It's amazing. All the cheeseheads that are here. You're right. There's a lot of them. There's no doubt for sure. Let's see here. Yeah. You know, I have a love for Wisconsin. You know, I used to go up to I used to do an event in Oshkosh called Sawdust Days, over the 4th of July. So while we were up there during that time of the year, we'd always run up. It was like an hour to Green Bay, and in that area there, we also did Madison. Yeah, Bart Starr. Yeah. Cool. What's this here? Jody Griff, Navy vet, just retired to Thailand, moved into the Palm right down the road from me. Yeah, fantastic. You know, I like going there on Wednesdays. Okay. Normally I go there on Saturday nights as well. Tonight, I can't go there tonight because we have this open house at JD's. Uh, so this week has been bad for catching me at Leo's, but I'll try on Wednesday to be over at Leo's about 7:30. If you make it over there, definitely stop off. And you mentioned you're at the Palm. I think out of all the places here, okay, the Palm is probably the best condo building in this area. Right on the beach, has great facility amenities are fantastic. Yeah, and as long as you're on this side, the Pattaya sign side of the building, you're okay. Uh, if you're on the north side of the building and have the construction that's going on, well, you know how that goes, right? Uh, so what's that here? Wisconsin is very far from LA. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Now, when we're talking about LA, are we talking about lower Alabama? Oh, that's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, I know what LA, but yeah, um, yeah, yeah. The Palm is great, so that's a good place to be for sure. Um, Again, let's see here. I'm going to have to wrap this up. I've been on over 2 hours, guys, and I definitely appreciate it. Um, let's see here. What? Let me double check my notes real quick here. Um, so the shout outs to the best clubs. Okay, that I know you guys. Um, I know you guys have all your favorite places to go uh, when you're in Pattaya. Okay, um, LK has to be. I think right now the best club has to be Top Gun. Okay, best staff. It's kind of dark in there. Prices are the 130-ish category. Um, as far let me see if I wrote that down. The actual prices are. Yeah, for some reason I didn't make a note. But anyway, so Billabong is fantastic over on LK. Um, the Palm Beach, really, really a good looking place. Um, on Walking Street, Shark, it's fantastic. I have to put a special shout out to Harem, Excess, Atmos, um, Coco. I like Coco. Okay. Um, and then for I know a lot of you guys won't agree with this here, but I'm going to put them out there too. Um, the For the trans side, Walking Street has a place called True Colors down there. Um, I went in there with another viewer, and the place was absolutely packed. So if you like that sort of thing, that's available. And LK has a place called Peachy Lily, I think it's called. And I knew Lily when she worked over here for M, and so I was talking to who was I talking to? They said that their place is usually pretty busy as well, so that's another place over on LK for you to check out. I don't know about the other places. Um, let's see here. Oh, and so I've had in the last I would say 4 months. I've had I go out with you guys quite a bit. Okay, so I've had a lot of viewers that come in, and one of my viewers, him and his wife came in, and they wanted to go to a ping pong show, and so we did that, and we went to the ping pong show over at um, I think it's Soy 15, where the old Heaven Above was upstairs and it's downstairs in that area. And it was 500 baht to get in, and it included one free drink. And the place was completely packed. Um, I couldn't hardly believe it's been years since I've been into one of those. Um, so if you like that type of thing, you know, it's still available. Um, yeah. So anyway, there's lots of good things to do. There's, as with low season here, we're in the low of low season, right? But when you get out and around me, uh, 8 o'clock at night to 10 o'clock at night, the streets are full. Okay, when you're in North Pattaya, the streets are full. Even going down Soy 6, the streets are full, but the insides of a lot of these bars are not. Okay, um, but people are on the streets because they're out looking, they're people watching, that type of thing. They want to see what's available. Maybe they're not taking part in the action that's going on, but there's certain places, certain businesses that do better than others. Not everybody's created the same. A lot of it has to do with staff. We kind of covered that. Um, so if you're in the outskirt areas and you find an establishment that has a lot of people there, there's a reason for that. Okay, either you have a great mama san, a great manager, or they have great, 39 baht beer prices, for instance, or they may be giving away free popcorn. It could be a lot of different things and reasons for it. Those are the places you want to go to. One of the places I haven't been to over in Jomtien is this Trump Towers. Okay. I'm not a big proponent for political aspect of anything, but it's super popular. So, yeah, that's something to definitely kind of check out here. I'll look at one last one here. I appreciate, yeah, Fred. I appreciate Teddy. Uh, yeah, let's plan on. We're gonna try next week at 10:30. Hope that works for you guys. I'm still trying to work on one in the middle of the week and doing it at midnight my time, 12 o'clock your time. I'm just having a hard time coming up with in my schedule. Okay, so I'll try to get that in there. So is it still possible to start a profitable beer bar in Pattaya? Yeah, it definitely is. But um, if you're ever thinking about that, we should talk. Okay. Um, Send me a message at margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Or if you come here, let's go have a beer or a coffee. Um, I'm not doing self promotion or anything like that, but I'll tell you what, it comes down to location, location, location. Having a mama san is key, and having some type of networking skills that are going to draw in people. Without those things, um, and probably another thing that you absolutely have to have, you can't come in here. Let's say you have $100 in the bank, and you spend half the money on the bar, and you're trying to live for the next year off the $50, 50% of what you brought. You have to have a supply of money because there's going to be lean times, and you're going to have to be able to support your place. If you're coming in on a shoestring budget, I I would highly suggest trying to save your money. You know, you need to come in here with a lot of money ahead of time. Don't go crazy spending it all at once, and budget the right way. Does that make sense? Is a bar possible? Yeah, it is. But uh, a good example is is let's see here. I would say that NDTV. You go over there, their A7 DJ bar or things like that they have going on are all fantastic avenues And these guys have really got the touch when it comes to opening a bar. But with that being said, I'm going to flip. Let's see here. I'm trying to find. So they have a bar over on LK Metro called Hypnotic or something like that. And when you walk by that bar, um, it is fantastic. It looks great from the outside, and this massive big screen TV, but it never has anybody in it. And I don't know what they're going to do to make it what everything is on Soy 7. I wish only the best of luck, because the place looks fantastic, but there's nobody in it. I don't know what the answer to that is. Um, so that's just one place, and you see places fail all the time. I'm not telling you it's going to fail by any means, because the management team that they have is second to none. Okay. If they know the way to make something work, they're going to make it work. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So, all right. I hope everybody, yeah, Soy 7 is up and coming. It's always been up and coming, Um, a lot of people are putting money into there. They got a new complex going in over there. There's a possibility. Um, yeah, there's a possibility. I like Maggie Mays. You like Maggie Mays? Yeah, I think that's a good option too. Get in a franchise like that. Yeah, I don't know. Um, you know, uh, I appreciate it there, Tall Frets, Teddy. Thank you very much. Um, I'm gonna jump off here. I know it's 2 hours and 22 minutes. Wow. I don't know where time goes when you're having fun, right? Okay. Well, I hope you have a great night. I have a video to work on today. Got a video coming out tomorrow. I have a couple other ones already in the queue. Um, in my members only area, there's uh, well, anyway, if you're a member, you already know you get first look at all the videos that are coming out. Plus, you have your own private videos. So I had a recent video from Soy 6. There was only members, So if you want to see those videos, you have to be a level 2. But I appreciate all that. I definitely do. And thanks again. The guys who have bought me coffee and that type of stuff, I thank you. Thumbs up. Um, yeah, the thumbs up you're only helping everybody else find me, which is a good thing. Is being inside okay? I wanted to get some feedback on that. Should I take you outside real quick before I leave? Kind of show you the outside again. Oh shoot. Let's see here. It's my condo again. 48 square meter. Take you outside real quick. Here's another thing that I have that I really like is this refrigerator has a water dispenser in it, and it also has an ice maker here. So I have ice all the time. That's a really good feature for me. All right. Here's my balcony view. The idea is that I am across the street from the ocean, but I'm 80 meters. I don't know if you can hear the waves breaking out there or not. I can hear them. So let's see here. I don't know if you can see Palm Beach. You can just see a corner of it down there. So, am I moving too fast? Roger that, Marty. You know I will, brother. Like I say, Amazon's coming over tonight. She'll be here about 5 o'clock or so. Let's see here. And I need to go get a massage. I need to go say hi to Kat. Here. All right. Okay. That's it. That's going to be it. That's all I have for you. Again, I appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next live. We'll count on next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And if I come up with another plan of getting another live together during the middle of the week, I'll post it on my community board, and hopefully we'll see you then. All right. All right. Well, love you too. Marty, take care. The fridge is on the balcony. Yeah, it doesn't mess with the thermostat at all. I used to have a heat shield, but what ended up happening is the heat shield heated up the refrigerator, and it was messing with the thermostat. So I have my refrigerator set at 4 degrees. Is that 4 degrees Celsius or 4 degrees Fahrenheit? I'm not sure. It says on the front of the door, and it's a smart refrigerator, so it's linked to my phone. Does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of Americans here all the time. Um, you know, more Europeans than anything. Lots of Russians, Indians, that are here as well. I love them all. It doesn't matter. The more the merrier. Uh, yeah. Um, so it's funny how everything's kind of clicky. You know, our area right here, we do have quite a few Russians and Indians come in here. The Indians that come to this area come to the hotels in this area. Okay. The Indians that are staying long time kind of stay in I shouldn't say MENA area, because the MENA area has kind of changed. The area that's just east of Walking Street was kind of traditionally the Arab, Muslim kind of area over there, and then now kind of taken over by Indian. And but it's a good area if you like Indian food or things like that. It's a fantastic area to be in, and lots of great staff and places to go over there. So in this area here, we do have a lot of Asian, and we do have a lot of Russian. This area is kind of known as kind of maybe more upscale, but we have upscale places, but there's plenty of places with normal budget-minded people can live as well. Right. So this is a good area to be. Another good area is Pratamac. People talk about that all the time. Um, I have my own reasons. If it's my second favorite area, Pratamac, and specifically Cozy Beach. Um, but you just have to go over there and kind of figure it out for yourself. Um, you know, the Cozy Beach area is pretty touristy, but you have tourists everywhere, you know. And right now, Central Patio Beach is pretty, as far as the beach goes, it's wide open. It's a big beach, and and living, let's say, in Soy 15, urban. What else is over there? There's lots of condo units, city garden, that type of stuff. They're all right there in the middle of the mix of everything, and it's super quiet. Yeah. So, all right. Let's see here. Um, big hugs, big hugs. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna wait for the 20-second mark, and then we're going to get out of here. And so my last thing is that big thumbs up. Give me that last big thumbs up. I appreciate it. And we're going to see you in the next video. You think of the life. I don't know. It's to me. So I just bought my airline ticket, and I thought the airline, my airline ticket. Now, normally, for years prior, I was always flying business class, and because business class tickets were so expensive, I'm flying premium economy. But overall, my round trip ticket was rather cheap, I thought. So, and there was plenty of flights, so yeah, I think you just have to look. I fly EVA. Okay, I like that. I always have lounge access, things like that. So, all right, we'll see you next video. Bye bye.